Hello, my little munchkins, my little crones, and my little chickens. How are you on this fine Thursday afternoon? Well, we're going to get into it because we're going to talk about the Kardashians. I thought it was dynamic. However, it gave me some insight about myself.
Oh, yeah.
It made me question, what is the problem I have with these people?
Okay.
And I realized I don't have a problem with the people per se. I have a problem with a few.
Okay.
And the problem that I have is they made it, they in the stratosphere. They will ever be sketched on our hearts.
That is true.
You know, your children might even know the remnant of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it. However, what bothers me is I personally would like for them to take a bow and go sit down and let me digest the information that I found out about these people that I supported to get to the stratosphere. Okay? So it was all cool, you understand? Because they were the first person to come on, had a black boyfriend, and the mother was hip, and they were pretty, and they were just like like an average family. I mean, I could identify with them. They didn't seem overly rich, you know, and you could see Kim admiring the rich people.
Yes,
and Courtney had already been on a reality show, so they were relatable. But now, 15 years later or more, they became so unrelatable. I don't know how we got here. But my main point that makes me so sad and why I want them to sit down is because 15 years later, I found out they made it on a lie.
Yes.
If I had known that was all orchestrated by her mother 15 years ago, Kimberly and her mother would be stripped to threads under a rock. Look what they put Mimi through.
They would have.
What, Paris Hilton?
Mm-hmm.
But we took and felt sorry because she played these black men and they toured her game. And if I known that, so now I'm just saying, oh, you lied. And not only did they lie about that, they lied about stealing money.
Yes.
They done lied. And so I'm saying, okay, every time I look at the Kardashians, all I see is the mistake I made trusting them. Trusting them for what? Trusting that they were pure. Trusting that they were good. Trusting that they were going to lead us into a good millennial. I don't know. They were going to be the Brady Bunch of some sort.
Yeah, trendsetters.
Yeah, trendsetters in a positive way. And I thought that if we ever got to a place where most people start talking about them and say, oh, we had enough, that they would just take a bow like most shows and go off the air. Mm-hmm. Not these people.
No, they don't. They don't know when.
They just, and it's not all of them.
No, certain.
And so I am just befuddled over the links that Kim, her mother, and I must say it, I didn't even want to say it, Chloe would go through to stay on the air. And so this is why I am the way I am. I don't hate them. I just want them to go away so I can digest and breathe and accept the fact I've been duped. That's all. I mean, in the course of this family, the man that I thought was Bruce, that was the triathlon, now is a woman. I can't, please.
Yes.
No judgment.
No, they are just different.
I knew they were different. But he knew how to take a bow.
Yes, he did.
And I'm just saying.
She did.
They just don't. Courtney is trying to take a bow.
Mm-hmm. Or at least just separate herself.
Separating herself and doing her own thing as a test.
Whoop, go court.
You know, because she's got a whole new life. And besides, she is always a Kardashian in paper.
That is true.
But she's not. She's a Barker now.
Yes.
And I hope they make it So with that being
She
said,
did keep her last name.
yeah, so with that being said, I hope I didn't bore you, but I just felt like I needed to say where my disruption is coming from. I don't hate those people. I just want them to sit down. So you might say, why do you watch? Why do you watch? Well, I wasn't watching them at all. So now I am back to watching them. And also, remember, I'm new. We're new
Yes,
to
we
the
are
YouTube.
newbies.
We're new to newbies. We're not even 2 years old.
No.
So we still got a ways to go before we 2 years old. So we're still at the beginning of our journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got into all of this.
Yes.
And now this is how I'm starting to find me, because I lived above ground. We didn't care about them like that. We didn't look at them like that. But now I see that there is a whole lot of people
Yes.
that, oh my God, that rather get news down here than to be duped up there.
Yes, and you will be surprised what goes and slips underneath.
Yeah.
Because we find out stories, we hear things that we're like, I would have never heard that.
And never up there.
Yes.
So down here, you get it raw, you get it real, you get it fresh, you get it before. Sometimes they get it up there. That's why up there is trying to come down here. And that's why they're trying to change all the rules and everything. So up there can be comfortable when they come down here.
Yes.
You see? So I hope that makes sense. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that. I feel better. Thank you for listening to that. So anyway, I just needed to say that just in case someone said, because someone had challenged me before and says, why you black people, you black card readers, you always talk about Kim. And that challenged me, because I don't have hate in my heart for anyone, but it made me really go inside and think. So that person who challenged me with that, I appreciate that. You know?
Yeah, they brought up a good point.
Yeah.
But
it's not true that only black card readers talk about Kardashians.
Right. Everybody talks about Kardashians.
Because they're in your face like that. That's so funny about it. But go ahead.
Yes. What is definitely in our face is this
24 hours. Even upstairs know about them.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly, Kim and Scott are like besties now. They hang out with each other. He's just chilling at Kim's house and talking about, well, first off, before he was even at her house, they went out on a little lunch meal date together. That's how it came on? Yes, that's how it came on.
Okay, this just came on. Yes. I can't take it. See what I'm saying?
Yep, and she's talking about wanting to sneak around and not wanting to be caught with whoever she's dating.
Well, she said she has to, because as you know, she's as big as Michael Jackson.
Yes, and she would like to keep her life private, apparently.
No, don't do that, because I'm sorry to be rude, but because you don't know what it's like to be famous. Mm-hmm. You don't know what it's like to walk down the street and people clicking and clacking and
but
you can't
I feel
go
like
nowhere.
If you're going to complain about it, then you should probably leave the limelight, which is time for you to leave.
Absolutely, that is my point. But you are correct. But all at the same time, it's like she's making points, even though this is what she wanted. This is what she brought on herself.
Yeah.
I mean, they say when she goes to school to pick up her kids, that she can go out in the entrance and nobody would never know and she would never be seen. Yes. But she chooses to go and have her children face the light like that. So it's too much.
Yes.
See, it's not even about them anymore. They done brought children in. And all this stuff we're going in through with the country about children and what's right and what's wrong and male and female. And it's like, oh my God, we're looking at this woman that don't even need the money at all. And you see her pimping. Okay, that's not a good word. We see her working her child for fame and for family business, and somehow it seems okay, but it isn't okay at all. Because it's like, okay, you have enough.
Yes.
Why are you still eating? They're like, no, we can't eat no more, but that little grandma's going to eat for us.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, is that why you had the little black babies?
Oh, no.
To make them workers? of the field because they can handle the sun. So
Spotlight.
if anything were to go on and you had to go underground, you got the little workers that can tolerate the sun.
It's very
I know that's so
questionable.
deep on so
That
many
is.
levels. But let's get back to that.
Taking back to a more physical reality, speaking of which, apparently North is now going to be having a toy line and a makeup line.
What is a 9-year-old? Did you say? This is the issue. It's like, okay, just take a bow. And they like, okay, no, we're not going to take a bow. We're going to make money. And the thing is that's so God awful about all of this. This is something the father, this is a black man. He said, I don't want this for my child. He has been crying, please. Mm-hmm. And everyone is saying, the mother has the right.
Yes.
Here is a black man screaming to save his child. Okay, to no avail. She does it anyway. This is so lopsided, it's sad. And this is the thing. I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, and I don't know how often he sees his daughter. That I don't know. But what I do know, she loves him every time she sees him. And he loves her.
That is true.
They love their daddy. And one thing, a lot of people can't say this, their daddy is not a stranger.
Yes.
They know who he looked like. And his wife is not a stranger. And they show up at their games. And on the tip, from what I understand, Kylie, they doing the same thing to Kanye that they did to Kanye at the beginning. They doing the same thing to Kylie's boyfriend, Travis Scott.
Okay.
Holding the child, having parties, not letting them know. See, what did they want these black babies for? Did they really think we're going to have a bunch of these black babies? Because you know what they say about them black men. They don't care. They don't take care of their kids. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Not all black men are like that. Right? Mm-hmm. That's stupid. But
I mean, they also have their love problems. So maybe they're just not choosing the right people to have babies with.
I know, but it is clear that they did choose to have their babies by athletes. I'm sure they took in height. I'm sure they took in color. I'm sure that they decided how dark they wanted their babies. Because when she married Humphreys, he was really, really a light-skinned brother. She sent him back.
Oh, damn.
And a basketball player. He was tall and all that, but she sent that back. She wanted the cream dark. And I'm not even trying to be funny. These are things that they have talked about on their show.
Yes, that was an embarrassing comment now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, they talked about how she wanted her cream.
Yes. Yikes.
And her coffee.
Yes, like her kids. So apparently while Cam was talking to Scott, she was talking about this mysterious guy that she was dating whose name is still
They didn't want to say.
They just called him Fred. So Fred.
We're assuming that it is Pete Davidson. I'm assuming that because Scott called him stinky, smelly person.
Yes.
Ooh. And from what I understand it of this alleged person, no other than think who you want. I truly believe it. Unless she was really out there seeing a whole lot of other people, like Scott says, she plays dirty.
Right, exactly.
He called her a dirty lady,
little girl.
a dirty little girl, and she giggled and she liked it. And before I get to the other part, because when he called her a dirty little girl, right? Because Scott know how to talk to women. So when he called her a dirty little girl, did you see how she giggled?
Yes, she did giggle.
Did you? And did you see how she showed her vulnerability when she says, I can walk out in front of a whole lot of people with no clothes on or just thongs?
Yes, with a
Pretty
thong
much
on.
with nothing. I can walk before the world naked, but you get me alone in the bed, you get me alone and I'm stripped and I'm naked, I'm embarrassed. And the way she curled up, that was a real moment.
Turn the lights off.
And don't just turn the lights off. I'm ashamed. And he looked at her. Oh, I could just feel this right now in my soul because I didn't understand it at the time. And he looked at her and he says, as gorgeous as you are. And she said, I can't, because she feels dirty. She feels dirty.
Yeah.
That's all that is. I didn't know now.
Yep, she says she feels embarrassed.
She feel embarrassed because she knows what she's done. She's been, like he said, a dirty little girl. She said she's been at this ever since she was young.
Yes.
In other words, messing with young black men, even Michael Jackson nephew.
Yep.
She's been around.
She gets around.
She's been married 3 times.
Yeah.
Even above ground want to say, no, she's only been married to 3. And she's been married to 3 black men. No judgment. I'm just saying, to the person that challenged me, it made me question these things, especially when I saw this episode.
Yeah, this episode was kind of vulnerable for some of the sisters.
Because they got Scott in there. And I'm going to tell you, Scott is good for TV.
Okay.
And what Scott is doing, it's like he's bringing out conversations and filling in so we can understand what's going on in the inner person of them. And like I said, it's just too, that's what you do when you don't have much. I don't know.
Yeah, it honestly feels like that because it's like, why is Scott hanging around?
And I don't mind him. The thing is, I don't mind. It's just awkward.
It is awkward.
Because where is Kim's best friend, Jonathan?
I have no idea.
The food critic. When did they stop being friends? Or what?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, now she's so big, she says she don't have any real friends. Or they busy. Where? Go get baby.
Okay.
Go get baby. Baby is saying, Go get baby. Is that baby? I didn't think baby want to be in here. Come here, baby. Here we go. She was scratching at the door like, y'all better let me in. She called us a bunch of heifers. Yes, she did. Hi. She said, it's camera time.
Yes. She came in just in time.
And she was loud, too. Like, let me in this door. Well,
Yes.
hi, baby. Okay.
So, moving on from Kim Kardashian.
Well, we're
and
not
Scott.
moving on from Kim Kardashian. We're just going on in the story because the whole episode was about Kim Kardashian.
Like every episode, somehow we might start with Kim, but we
that's
always
okay.
end with Kim.
But that's okay. That's okay to me. That's okay.
She's the face
because
of the
I
show.
do like I said, right. I do like Scott. I do. I just think it looks awkward with him being there. Like it's awkward, but all at the same time, he is getting them to talk.
That is true.
He's showing me. He showed Kim to me in a way that was vulnerable. That was vulnerable when she said about she could go out. That was vulnerable. And when she said when she's with a man, turn the lights out.
Yeah.
I understand. I don't understand that. Like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what it's like to walk into a place and people seeing you naked and you feel nothing.
Yeah,
that is nothing. So for me to lay in the bed with the lights on and the man make love to me, I would feel squeamish about that. Not squeamish, uncomfortable. Why? Because that's not something I do on a daily. That's not, you know what I mean? That would be somebody I don't know, and I'm being vulnerable. He gets to see my inconsistencies.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would make me vulnerable. And I know that some people like that, but I wouldn't. It would take me a time to build up trust. But it isn't going to be like I would just like, it's like, turn the lights out before I get no,
No, we're not that insecure.
It's not that insecure.
Right. So we got to see Courtney next.
Yes.
We got a little backstory about how close she is with both Dolce and Gabbana.
Yes, that they've been friends for years, and that
Yes.
she visited them, and that place was chosen years ago, and this was all set out, and Kimberly knew.
Yep, and that her wedding felt special when Dolce & Gabbana did it. And here goes Kimberly.
She knew.
Yes.
This was set years ago.
And what's even more awkward is that when they stopped by at Courtney's office while she was getting ready, she was just like, oh, are you visiting Kim? And they were Kim's office, and they were just like, yeah. And she was like, oh, that's across the street.
I didn't get. I heard it.
So basically, Dolce & Gabbana was stopping to meet Kim, but they wanted to say hi to Courtney at the time while they were passing by. So Courtney, like it was like an unexpected visit. She was just like, "Oh, what are you guys doing over here?" Like she knows that Kim and Dolce and Gabbana are doing this fashion week, which
So let me get what you're saying. So paraphrasing, you're saying in a sarcastic way, she says, "What, you lost?" Because Kim is across the street. I know that you're not here to see me, but you just stopped in to holler.
Yes.
But just in case this is a mistake and you're looking for Kim's office, she's across the street. Just to let them know she recognized. But she just seemed distant to them in a way.
Yeah.
But she was very polite. But she did seem a little distant to them. She didn't get up out of her chair. She was not rude. No. But you're right. If I looked at it from the viewpoint where you said Kim was across the street. Yeah. Because her mother came.
Yeah, her mother was there too.
Her mother brought them there. So it wasn't no mistake. So the mother knew where the office was.
Right. That's why I'm like, maybe they wanted to stop by and say hi before seeing
And she didn't need it.
Right.
That's how you took it.
Right. Like,
okay.
If you're here to see my sister and you guys are doing this collaboration.
And y'all did this behind my back, you know. You don't have to see me. But I can feel I'm going to look at that again because I'm going to look at it from your point of view. But I can see it like that. I didn't see it that way. What I saw is, I just thought that they just stopped over. And I didn't even connect the Gote, what's his name?
Dolce.
I didn't even connect it. I just saw that there were some people that came in unexpected and that she just felt like, you know, I'm in the middle of something. I don't really want y'all seeing me like this. I'm filming. It was like they interrupted. That's how I saw it. And that she was just being polite. However, looking at it from the point of view, she was really being a cold one. Like, I recognized what you did. And I respect that we had this for years, but you know what? You do you, boo. I'm over it.
Yeah.
But we were friends for years. And you did this to me while dressing me. She made it clear, right?
Yes.
While measuring me. Dressing me.
Yes, for my wedding.
For my wedding.
Making me feel special.
Making me feel special, and you did this to me. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Oh. Yes. Oh, in my opinion, thank you for making me see it that way. I didn't see it that way.
You're welcome.
Okay, Charles.
All right, Harvey. So, Chloe, moving on. Oh, yes. Let's talk about Chloe a little bit. Taking care of baby Tatum with her long black pointy nails, saying, "Oh yeah, I only want Tristan to watch my baby, not the nanny."
If that's not the most wickedest black pointed witchy nails taking care of your baby that clearly you're struggling with.
Yes.
You know good well you can't take care of no baby with them long pointed nails. Not really. Not in the real world.
No.
Not if you washing, cooking, cleaning, running back and forth to school or doing laundry. But I forgot. That's normal people. Because in real life, you cut them nails off. They can be long, but they won't be pointy.
They're definitely not pointy. That's a hazard.
That's a hazard. And all the things you doing, you ain't got time for that. You got to cut them nails down.
Yes.
Come on. But black, that was the thing. Like, this is my resentment. It was like, no, it was this whiteness. Like, don't you see the sign? Checkered. It was like, oh, this baby. And in their picture, there was a baby that was up for the sacrifice.
Yes, it was.
This baby with the black nail, that baby is sacrificed. I'm just saying. God. I want to say the little boy is cute, but they won't show it. Yeah, but if it was a little girl, they'd be all up in the...
Yeah.
Cheese for the camera. Cheese. They protect the boys, though.
Yes, they do. You see the favoritism.
You see? And if it was a girl, they would have been all up in the camera. But the boys, you see, they protect them boys.
Next, oh yes, we did notice that Kris Jenner has a tendency to tell her children that they were amazing, or tell Kendall, oh yeah, you're my favorite, and then Kendall's like, I know I'm not her favorite. So I'm not sure what the mother's doing with her children.
I think she goes around and she tells them all, you know, you're my favorite. You know, you're the one. I get it. I get it. I guess I get it. I get it. But on the show, I don't even know what this was, but on that show, what's his name? He no longer.
Is it James Corden?
Yeah, on the James Corden show, when they did the lie detective,
yep.
and they asked her who was her favorite, she could have said, I don't want to answer. But because Kylie was there, what did she say? Kylie. Her favorite one is whoever is there for her at the moment. That seemed like somebody I know. So it's like, who's there for her at the moment?
Well, you know what? That would.
And Kylie blushed and said, I know.
I knew the answer.
I already knew. And maybe Kylie is, because he probably don't put up a lot of stinking fuss like the rest of them.
That is true. You would think Kim is the favorite.
Kim is the favorite when it come down partners in crime, when it come down making that money, when it come down to that, how can we grow the business? When it come down anything business, it's her and Kim.
Got you. So she has her favorites for certain things.
For certain things, right. But who is my boo coon and I hang out with and this, that, and the other that I chill, it would be Kylie. Who goes to, because probably everybody else don't want to go. Yeah. But Kylie perhaps said, I'll go and hang out with you, mommy.
Yeah.
Because Kylie said, Kylie, and then the next favorite one, I truly believe it would be Chloe.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I also believe Rob.
Yes.
Because he's our only boy.
You know,
and even though they don't even acknowledge him or
missing
him, and he's a Kardashian. As a matter of fact, he's the namesake, and they never even mention his name. You don't have to show him, but they don't even acknowledge him as an older brother.
No, they don't.
You know?
I forget they have a brother until his name is mentioned. Poor Rob. Moving on. Oh yes, back to Courtney talking about vulnerability. Apparently, Courtney has always felt like she's been criticized, and actually, it's something that's been brought up about most of the children, saying that they feel like they have to like be perfect, and the mother's just like, yeah, blame me. I'm always the one to blame for you guys wanting to be perfect and everything that goes wrong with you guys. And they're just like, if we're wanting to be perfect, there must be a reason why, if we're all feeling that way. And Courtney feels it the worst, feels it the most. That she always feels like she was being criticized, judged, and she struggles with the limelight.
I don't think it's Chloe the most. I think it's Kendall.
Courtney.
I think it's all of them, and one way or another. Rob, but what was you saying quickly?
Talking about how Courtney was struggling with the limelight
because it seems like ever since they were young, it seemed like that they were always competing, probably her and Kim. Because I know she used to dress them alike, and Courtney used to say she didn't like him. So it just seemed like that rivalry of who was better. And her mother did say that Kim was the pretty one. So therefore, Courtney is like the one that's always balancing, always competing. That's what I got out of it. Because Courtney said that she's been dealing with this ever since she's been little.
Yes.
So the mother been making this psychological moves ever since. And so Kim took more after the mother. And Courtney rebelled.
If Courtney wasn't in the limelight, she'd just be doing herself.
She'd be a hippie dippy, or she would be like, I don't know.
Like a biker girl.
Girl. She would not be nothing, no.
No,
she would be successful though.
She was just groomed.
She'd be a mom or something.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be like married to somebody with some money and not overly rich, but happy living in the suburbs. No, seriously.
Yeah, no.
And Kim could have been famous and she wouldn't have been jealous. She would have been, you know.
Yeah. So a little bit about. Okay, so here we have the disaster of Kim. Well, not a disaster. I'm calling it a disaster in advance. It probably turns out good. But Kim is going to Italy for Dolce & Gabbana. She has 3 days until Fashion Week, and her stylist forgot her passport. And now she has to narrow down 120 looks to only 80 and style them herself. And she relies on her stylist, so she's kind of panicking and freaking out.
Everything is going to be fine because Kim had a private jet to pick up this girl's passport, put it on a private jet, and have it flown to Milan. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So please, please, they're going to be all right. However, that 120, I'm sure she said that she's lost some because of time, right?
Oh no, it was always going to have to be, she has to...
downsize it.
Yeah.
So... But right now, this is what happened when you do things and it's not nice.
Mm-hmm.
You see that slip right there. But believe me, she's gonna be fine. But I noticed everything I noticed at Kim, everything she did after the wedding, it just seemed like it had a misfault.
That is
with
true.
the gown, it didn't fit right. You know what I mean? The beads was falling all over the place. She wore the all black, and then she had this. It was like, no, Kim, you're doing the most. No, you know, it's like she just ever since this wedding, it's like she's been off.
Yeah.
Her style's been off, or something's been off.
I think since the divorce of Kanye too, Kim's been off. Because we know
I don't think, well, I can't say she has been off, but what I will say, it's an adjustment when you lived your life with someone taking control of it, and you don't have that anymore. And I think that she's finding her way.
Yes.
I think she's finding her way. And many people think that she wants him back. I don't think she wants him back. I don't think. No. She may want aspects of him back, but she doesn't want him back. No. No.
Let's see that.
No, I don't believe that there was a time I would hope that she would take him back and they would get together, but they are not even right. They are too much of alike. They are too narcissists.
Got you.
And it would never work. And they both think they right, but they both fight in two different ways because they both air signs.
Yeah, that is true.
They just... So they just blow each other in the wrong way.
Right.
They could have made it. I have to say this.
Okay.
But I think that they had too many children at one time. Too soon. And I think that's the break of a lot of relationships.
I could see that. Now, to end off the episode.
That was her purpose.
To end off this episode on a slightly funny, North was messing around with some special effects and was able to prank some of the people and didn't recognize Kim Kardashian. However, that just shows how Kim said she only will let her daughter make her look ugly or something along those lines. Like she'll only do this for her daughter. So that just shows you why her daughter's coming out with a makeup line, because she said that North likes makeup. Hint, hint, she said. In a sense.
Well, of course, she's going to promote her daughter because that's the one who they want to get the baton to.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. Maybe Chicago might be the one for this, but it doesn't matter because they choosing who they chose.
Yes.
And the only thing I have to say is I don't have nothing to say about it. We can't say nothing about children. No. So I will not say nothing.
There was not much to say other than we'll see what kind of makeup line she'll make.
I'm sure it'll be for children. I'm sure it won't be an adult makeup. I'm sure it's for little teeny tots and teenagers. Right. Nevertheless, or preteens.
Yes. Speaking of lines, just want to point out
lines.
Yeah, like fashion lines, like people putting out fashion. Congratulations to Travis and Courtney for having their line revolt.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a line revolt. They sell clothing. Yeah, so we're gonna look it up, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So, yeah, but other than that, did we cover everything?
Yes, we did cover everything because it's always mostly about Kim, and then we get a few of the other sisters.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Because I don't think Kylie was in it, really.
No, she wasn't in there.
But they
much.
showed the clip of her. So she was in it, but she was in it when they showed the clip.
Yes.
And the other girl was in it, Kendall.
Yeah,
she was in it, but they showed her from where she was in
New York
for
Fashion
Fashion Week. And I think Kendall was very attractive.
Mm-hmm, she is.
She's very attractive. And that's it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, Chloe was briefly mentioned as she talked about adjusting to having Tatum in the world and the surrogacy process and adjusting. She said that she connected in like 2 or 3 days with her firstborn True, but now with this baby Tatum,
and the milk, the baby, she's struggling with feeding the baby milk, so the baby's drinking goat milk. And the nails though. Ooh. And on another side, I don't know if it's true. They said that Courtney may be pregnant. I don't know if it's true, but I hope so. That's allegedly. What else?
That's it. What's going on in their current lives?
In their current lives, and that's it. I don't think we have much to say about that. I think I said what I had to say, and like I said, but this is what I have to say. But that's just how much there is nothing to talk about on the show.
Yeah, that is true.
That they are talking about their personal, just nothing, just finding something.
Anything,
and to bring Scott on.
Yes.
And it's so awkward to see Scott and Kim hang out. If it was Scott and Chloe, yes. Scott and Kim.
Yes.
And there was a time Kim couldn't stand Scott. Like that, you know what I mean? I'm sure she always liked him, but you know how sometimes you just, because he drank, he was disgusting, obnoxious, and Well, anyway, that's just the Kardashians.
Maybe to spite Courtney.
Could be, but Courtney happy.
Yes.
But I have to admit, I do like Scott.
I do. I like that he brings realness.
And I think that it's unfortunate that the brother should be on there doing what Scott is doing.
Yeah, let's get some more males in
there. No. Scott is like the brother that they need on the show.
Oh, no. Don't tell me they replaced Rob with Scott.
No. Scott and Rob used to be real close at one point. I don't know their relationship now. I'm sure they don't hate each other. But Scott is like a brother to me, to them, family.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I enjoy seeing Scott on the show, and it's just that this is so out of pocket to see Kimberly and Scott hanging out. It's just, stop it already.
Yes.
But that lets you know when you really hitting rock bottom, and you just hanging on by your tongue, your nail going.
Yes. And saying you have no friends
I ain't going down. I ain't going down. So anyway, that's all we have to say about it. I hope that you enjoyed it.
Yes, that was a good episode. Yeah, it was actually an interesting episode. For the third episode, it was raw and vulnerable in a sense.
It was vulnerable. It was vulnerable to see Kim when she said, it was so real at a real moment, and I could identify with it to a point.
Yeah, to a point.
Not all the way. It's kind of like an oxymoron. You could be open and naked in front of a lot of people and walk and be not ashamed, but you're intimate and you're going to give your body. You're going to give your body over to someone and get you ashamed. That lets me know that's some inner turmoil right there. That's some turn off the light because I'm ashamed, because I don't really want you to see who I really am. I don't want you to see all the bodies that has been on top of me. Just turn the lights out. I see that spiritually,
Yeah.
That's deep, right?
It is.
For me, it would be, I don't want anybody to see my imperfections.
Yes.
That's deep. Just think about that for a moment. But that's just my opinion. And I enjoyed looking at it, like I said, for the reasons to see how are they going to go down.
Yes.
Not go down, but just phase out. Because they already made it.
Yes,
so
please peacefully phase out.
Phase out.
Don't make it worse for yourself.
It's already this episode let me know they're like we're scrounging for the bottom of the barrel, and but nevertheless it was entertaining.
Yes, it was.
So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the
Kardashians on Hulu at Thursdays at midnight.
It starts at midnight.
Yes, it starts at midnight. You can literally watch it anytime during Thursday and after.
Right. So we hope you enjoyed our commentary about what we think and throw in a little bit more. So with that being said, we'll see you in a little bit as we also do Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yeah.
With that being said, I hope you enjoyed your evening until we meet again. Sunflowers.